Atyantikam Sukham. This is limitless Ananda. So what is the nature of who you are? Limitless Ananda. In other words, one owns up to the highest Ananda in existence. And that highest Ananda is who you are. Now, when I say limitless Ananda, we are not talking about sense experienced happiness. Ananda, Satchit Ananda, has nothing, zero to do with sense experiences felt in the body or the mind. Because why? They're all finite in time, in quality, and place. They begin and they end. Even in quality, we say, at that time I had a lot of fun, but today I don't have so much fun. So that means what? The joy which I just remembered was not Ananda. At that time I was so happy. Now I'm not so happy. That means what? The remembrance is not Ananda. It's what? It's a sense-felt pleasure that has nothing to do with you. So anything that begins and ends in time, no matter how joyful it has zero to do with who you are. So this Ananda we're speaking of is not experiential. It cannot be experienced as an object. This is why I avoid the word experience, because instantly the mind flocks onto an object and makes it into something that I can feel with my body mind. So please understand this. It's not experiential, this Ananda.
So this isn't part of the bliss sheath in the Panchakoshas?
No. No, bliss sheath is just matter. We're talking about the nature of who you are, which is consciousness. So the nature of consciousness, awareness, is limitless Ananda. So even if one gains Ananda in samadhi, is that real? Is that real?
No.
Why?
Temporary.
Huh?
Temporary.
Yeah, it began. It wasn't there a minute ago, and now it is. So even in meditation, those yogis who come out and they say what? I had the greatest bliss. I was one with the whole universe. That was not true a second ago, and now one has attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and basis of that experience, one claims what? I'm enlightened. But in Vedanta we say what? It has nothing to do with who you are. Why? Because you cannot limit Brahman to time and space. Brahman is the substratum upon which every experience of every single individual rests upon and is pervaded by. Okay, then question, what is this Ananda? So now we're going to speak, what is the Ananda of a wise person? When we say wise, often we hear the wise person, the enlightened person, is in bliss. What kind of bliss are we talking about? Because we just negated the bliss of what? Experience. The Ananda we're speaking of is of knowledge, wisdom, of the intellect. I'm not talking about intellect as in I know something. I'm talking about as I am that which I know. Okay, what knowledge? Now you're going to say, I said it's the Ananda of knowledge. Next question, what knowledge? I am full. I am Purnaha. The knowledge that I am full. I am full before meditation. I am full after meditation. I am full even when this body dies, sooner or later. I am full when this body is going under the worst pain imaginable, and I am still full when this body goes through the most unimaginable pleasure. It does not touch my fullness. That knowledge is what gives one Ananda. You understand? It has nothing to do with status or feeling something, but simply the knowledge that I am eternal, full, immortal, unchanging, beautiful, shining, bright, illuminous. All these words, as long as you know what they mean, they can be used. That's what gives the Ananda. That, oh my God, I'm immortal, I'm permanent, unchanging. I am the source wherefrom the entire universe comes from. That kind of knowledge. So what's the conclusion? The conclusion is only Ananda born out of knowledge is permanent. Ananda born out of relationships and food, that's all temporary. Why is it born out of knowledge? Because knowledge cannot be displaced by time nor worldly experience. For example, take that down please, I'll give you an example. 2 plus 2 equals what? 4. When the person's feeling extremely miserable, does the answer 4 change? When the person's feeling extremely happy, does the number 4 change? So when I'm feeling happy, 2 plus 2 equals 4. When I'm feeling joyful, 2 plus 2 equals 4. When I feel ignorant about who I am, 2 plus 2 equals 4. When I'm fully abiding in who I am, 2 plus 2 still equals 4. Similarly, no worldly experience can displace knowledge of my fullness. That's the kind of Ananda we're talking about. So, summary. If the Ananda comes from wisdom, knowledge, then it is permanent. Ascertained knowledge, not intellectual knowledge, how I am full and holding that as an object, but understood knowledge, assimilated knowledge. And how do we assimilate knowledge? Nididhyasanam, dhyanam. So you see the connection now. So the sense of fulfillment is born of wisdom, atyantikam sukham. It's born of, so this limitless Ananda is born of knowledge, which is of the intellect, buddhihi, and it is beyond sense pleasures. So we're now clear, what does it mean to say Ananda? My nature is Ananda. Okay, and finally the word veti. Krishna uses the word veti very wisely. Notice he did not use the word experience. He says veti, which is what? The one who knows one's Ananda knows, not experiences. So what's the difference between, see what the implication is? If I know my nature, it means what? It was there all along. And now I just got to know it. Why? Because I removed the ripples from the disturbed mind. So that which was there all along, unchanged, permanent, as a result of clearing the mind, false notions, which were what? Saying otherwise, as a result of removal of those notions, I get to what? Know who I am. Know my already permanent, unchanging Ananda. Not experience, because if it said experience, what would that mean? Besides mithya, it would also mean that what? It wasn't there before and now it is there. And I did something I did some action to produce it. So you can see how wise the words are. So I get to know what is already the case and what can never not be the case because it is the truth of the entire existence. For example, just like the sun is always shining, and the intensity of the cloud seemingly dims the light, but actually doesn't dim the light of the sun. So the removal of the clouds, what happens then? I get to know the full brightness of my nature, just like the sun. If I clear the mind, I get to know the full, total, limitless nature of self, of who I am. Okay, definition 4. Tattva nishtha. Tattva, you know, reality. We discussed tattva bodha. Tattva nishtha means firmly established in reality. It's not on the board. Tattva nishtha. Firmly, okay, tattva relates to what? I said reality. What am I talking about when I say reality? Well, there's only one reality. Atma. So reality is what? You, consciousness. So tattva nishtha means firmly established in tattva, in reality, which I am. The only reality, existence, Satchidananda. So what Krishna is saying is, I am not deviating from my nature. because I'm so firmly established in tattva, in reality of the whole universe. And he says it in, he also says, I remain in this. What does this mean? I remain in this. You see how it's present tense? Not I remain in that. I remain in this as what? As the nature of who I am, which is Atma. So I remain in this, my nature, because there's nothing more beautiful than one's nature. Thus, why would one want to deviate elsewhere? For example, a bicycle rider starts to what? Learn how to ride in a safe place. Not in a high, busy street, obviously. So, just like a Vedantic student learns the nature of self and non-self, where? In a proper environment called pramana, with a proper means of knowledge. Pramana is means of knowledge. Then what happens? The bicycle rider falls. And when they fall, they get up. Similarly, a Vedantic student inquires. Sometimes the doubts come. It's okay. I feel like I'm not getting it. I get up and I keep moving. So I keep falling and I keep moving on. And then, as a result of falling many times, making some mistakes, understandable, what happens then? The bicycle rider is naturally established, nishta, established in the knowledge of riding the bicycle. So what does this mean? The non-distractible bicycle riding knowledge, non-distracting bicycle riding knowledge is called nishta, bicycle riding knowledge. Firmly established in bicycle riding knowledge. The non-distracting self-knowledge is called tattva nishta. Just like the bicycle rider can now what? Ride in the most busy streets and multitask on the phone. Don't even have to think about it. Don't have to go consciously, I am Brahman, I am the truth, I am the truth. Nobody does that. It's just automatic, autopilot. In the same way, because of one's practice, one's naturally established in their true nature without having to make a big deal out of it. This is why jnanis never goes around going how, they know something that other people don't. It's just, you don't go around saying, I know how to drive a car. It's just, there's no sense. So the conclusion is, one who practices Atma Dhyanam, the meditation that we're discussing, never forgets one's nature in any kind of crisis, never loses one's center of gravity, never deviates from one's true nature. And this non-deviation from one's true nature, whereby one's established, is called Sahaja Samadhi. What is Sahaja Samadhi? Just like the bicycle rider is naturally established in bicycle riding knowledge, we call that Sahaja Samadhi. One who knows their nature without having to think about it or attend classes or any kind of reminders once in a while, that's called Sahaja Samadhi. It's just normal. It's not a big deal. It's not even mentioned. You don't even speak about it.